And now, hello everybody, my name is Christian and welcome back to Skycast, and we have a lot to be covering. Once again today, multiple areas of severe weather continuing, as well as a possible impact for Hurricane Beryl on portions of the Texas coast. Let's go ahead and get right into it. And so here we are on the day one outlook for today, and we have kind of two general areas that we are looking for severe weather. One is going to be up here towards more of the central plains, where you do have this slight risk of severe weather through portions of Nebraska into Kansas and portions of extreme eastern New Mexico and into portions of the Oklahoma Panhandle as well. For this threat, we do have a little possibility of tornadoes through portions of central Nebraska, so a brief tornado or two are possible. Not a big threat with that though. Wind threat's going to be that 15%, with the reason that is slight, and then that it's going to be more hail driven, where you're going to be able to see hail events of 2.5 inches in diameter towards portions of the hatched risk there. So overall, going to need to be weather aware into the afternoon and evening hours as we continue to monitor the progression of this. And then we have another area of severe storms. Portions of New York into portions of Maine, we do have that probability of severe storms. Once again, wind gusts is that main threat there. You can see tornado, hail, all non-existent. Reason that's marginal is because you're going to have some of those severe storms spark up, those scattered storms, and that will bring possibility for some of those elevated wind gusts of maybe 65 miles an hour. For the summary, scattered severe thunderstorms are expected through the central plains this afternoon into evening, including Nebraska and into portions of Kansas. Large to very large hail and severe wind gusts are the primary hazards. Notice how they're not highlighting tornadoes, just to the nature of this set of storms. It's not a big tornado threat with that. And then if we can scroll down, you can pause the video to read the synopsis if you would like to. Now, as of now, through the portions of this Nebraska risk, we are seeing severe storms beginning to pop off through the marginal risk, the marginal and the slight risk border, which is prompting an MCD for there to be an 80% watch issuance. This will likely be a severe thunderstorm watch with some pretty low hazards overall, but still going to be able to see some very large hail with some of these storms with that as well. And this continues all the way over into portions of Omaha, all the way down into portions of Guymon, Oklahoma. So overall, pretty large and expanded area that we are seeing for these severe storms today. Now, the storms that we are seeing, you can see the HRRR isn't exactly really picking these up. So this is some pretty early convection that we are seeing, which could very well limit the severe weather potential that we are seeing throughout the rest of the day. Or it could not have an impact on it at all. It's just a matter of seeing how today plays off. But you can see about 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time or 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, you can see in the circled area where we're already seeing the severe thunderstorm warning, storms are going to be beginning to pick off. And you can see that as these storms initially start, you can see all that purple, almost blue highlighted into that. That's going to be that pretty large hail and damaging wind gusts with this before this kind of congeals into a little bit of a line on the way down through this. And that's going to be, of course, you're still going to have that hail threat, maybe a little bit of a tornado threat with this, but it's going to be more of that wind threat just due to where that's kind of convecting into that little bit of that line. About 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, this will all move out to the marginal risk and will lose that steam. So just throughout the afternoon today, it would be a good chase day for storm chasers that are out there for structure. But if you're out just enjoying the rain, make sure you're being weather aware throughout the rest of this. As we move up into portions of Maine with this as well, if you just kind of go through the runs throughout the afternoon, if you're under this, you're going to be seeing the probability for these scattered storms. Not all of them will be severe, but you will have some of these that will be able to get into the environment for some of that damaging wind. And you can see as we just play along the run, like I said, not all of them going to be severe, but as we just get through the evening into the overnight, it's just going to be those scattered storms throughout the whole area that's up here. So once again, not a wild threat that we're seeing up here, but you need to be weather aware, know what to do just in case something does happen. And now we get into portions of day 2 where we have something a little bit interesting that we are going to be watching, which I'll get into here in just a moment. But we do have that slight risk of severe weather through portions of eastern Texas into the Panhandle, and then portions of central Oklahoma. And with this, you will have the probability of to see a tornado or two through this area, but real threat's going to be damaging winds, some hail with that overall, once again, not wild of a threat. The area that is interesting about today is going to be this little area right here. And the reason that's going to be interesting is because that's going to be the start of the impact with Hurricane Beryl. Now, something cool that I do like to show is that Hurricane Beryl is so close to Texas and impacting portions of this that it's actually showing up on portions of the HRRR. It's going to be this little area down here, right here, and this is obviously not a tropical forecast model, but that kind of just goes to show how we're seeing this play out today. Hurricane Beryl is this big white cloud right here, and it is sitting about right in this general area, and this is going to be moving all the way north. It's in an area where it can produce some sort of rapid intensification. I don't exactly have a map to show it, but about right in here is where we're looking at those very warm sea surface temperatures, and that is going to be helping Hurricane Beryl to strengthen. Now, this right now obviously is just a tropical storm, but this is expected to get into portions of Category 1 strength. Would not be surprised to see this upgraded later on, but as of now, just through Category 1 strength as it impacts portions of Texas with winds up to 105 miles an hour. And with that being said, National Weather Service has issued the tropical storm warning and the hurricane watch through portions of this area. And this is going to be for the next day or so until this actually moves through and moves into some sort of tropical depression. And that will shift east from what we're seeing and will impact portions all the way up into the Mississippi Valley, into portions of the Ohio Valley. That's not really saying it's going to be hurricane strength, but it's going to be that tropical depression, and you will have that probability to get some of the rain, some of the wind from it. Now, as we are looking at Beryl right now on the HWRF model, it is looking like it's going to be taking the warm water out here and rapidly gaining that intensity. And you can see kind of has that eye on the HWRF with that again. That kind of predicts that hurricane status. This is expected to hit directly tomorrow at 8 in the morning. Not tomorrow, I meant Monday. Monday at 8 in the morning, it'll start making impacts tomorrow, which is why we do have that slight risk of severe weather in effect. And as this continues on, will impact and will kind of make that northward turn as it hits tropical depression. And that's going to bring some flooding concerns to portions of not only just Texas, but portions of Oklahoma, Arkansas, all the way up into Missouri, where that torrential rainfall is going to continue. And with that, the National Weather Service has issued a slight risk of excessive rainfall through portions of the Texas coast. But as we do get into day 3, that gets upgraded to a big moderate. Includes portions of College Station all the way east of Austin. And this is at least a 40% chance plus of there to be some sort of flash flood within 25 miles of a point. So very, very concerning situation continuing to unfold. We're going to have to continue to monitor this to see how this performs. But not only are we looking at that hurricane threat, you are going to be looking at that tornado threat, where we do have that 5% tornado threat through portions where that will be impacting. Where hurricanes rotate, it's pretty easy for a tornado to spawn up in these areas. And on top of all that, that's just another threat that you're just going to have to deal with and try to ride out if you're staying down there. So a few tornadoes are possible, but wind gusts not really being highlighted down there, as well as hail, just due to the nature of the area that it's being, the reason that slight risk is there. As we get into portions on Monday too, once again, another slight risk due to Hurricane Beryl. Besides that, though, no other really severe weather threat being expected to impact. Probabilistic of this being some sort of severe threat is a 5%, so overall not wildly high, but that is there. So overall, if you're in the one of the areas that's going to be impacted by this storm and severe weather for the future, you need to make sure you're being weather aware. You need to make sure you have a plan in a case of flash flooding or a tornado or some sort of severe gust that can knock out your power or cause injury. You need to make sure you have a plan and know what to do just in case. Now that's all I have for you guys today, so thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for choosing Skycast as your go-to weather place, and have a great day. I'll see you guys in the next one.